Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. If it's meant for you, God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Press on with pride and press on with purpose and appreciate what God has brought you through.
Oh yeah. Just get on board. Hear me now. People, get ready for the train to come. Picking up passengers from coast to coast. All you need is a little faith to hear the deeds are humming. Don't need no ticket, just get on board. People, get ready for the train to Jordan. Picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and board up. There's room for all among those loved the most. I believe, oh I believe, I believe, oh yeah, yeah, I believe, oh you don't need no ticket to just get on board, hear me now. Just to save it long. A penny on those chances grow slimmer. For there's no hiding place against the kingdom's throne. So people.
How do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the phrase, how do I know, they always want to put the what behind it. How do I know what I'm supposed to do? The question that you really should ask is, how do I know why I'm here? Because when you know your why, your what becomes more clear and more impactful. If you know, like for instance, people know that I do comedy, but that's what I do. My why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. So I can do comedy, I can write books, I can be in a movie, because all of it is motivated by my why. In fact, I have a new web series out called Michael Jr. Break Time. We probably just did the 6th episode. It's on YouTube. So every single Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we drop a new episode on YouTube of Michael Jr. Break Time. What it is it's me. I travel around the country and I do stand-up comedy, in case you didn't know. And in the middle of my comedy set sometime, I'll stop and just talk to my audience. And we've been filming this, and it's pretty cool. So we're in Winston-Salem. I'm going to show you a clip from Winston-Salem. And I'm just talking to this guy in the audience, and he tells me that he's a musical instructor at a school. So I was like, all right, you're a musical instructor. Can you sing? Let me hear you sing a song. So this is what happened at the last episode of Michael Jr.'s Break Time. Check it. So you're a musical director. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now, right now I'm found, was blind, but now I see.
Okay. Here's what I want you to catch. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what becomes more impactful because you're walking towards or in your purpose.
Hey everybody, it's Lloyd Spence, and BetOnline and I would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond. BetOnline remains the number one spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. It's a new year and new updated desktops and mobile websites to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to get started. From football, basketball, and hockey, boxing and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. And tell them the Noisemaker sent you.
Popcorn World.
Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get the groove in a bag of a can. I can make it round the world with the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. 250 flavors. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn world. What's that saying? Breaking down the room, I'm smiling now. Speaking for the people who must go around. Taking truth to power with a whisper and a shout. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Hey, yeah. Say it again, say we're talking noise. Yeah, talking noise. Really don't have to fool around. Never noise keeps us lined up. When truth provide the sound that you hear is a sign of success. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Yeah, picking up all the same. We're talking noise. Oh yeah. Talking noise. Share it again. We're talking noise.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. real truth while having real fun. Talkin Noise is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin Noise.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
I always think it's Julie, but it's Leslie that gets the last one in. It's Leslie that has to answer his foolishness at the end. Those three letters tells you everything that's about to happen today. Last week it was Women's Wednesday. Today it's WTH Wednesday. And at some point it may transition to WTF Wednesday, depending on how intense the Wednesday gets. But for now, it's just what WTH.
It might even be applicable today.
Well, in some parts of the country, it is.
What the la 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 la
la la la? I mean, what the fa la la? We are glad to see everybody today, and for some reason, we have been woefully. I don't know. We've just been off our game. I think it's because we're sleepy. Because it's cold, and then we back to, I don't know. I don't want to make a lot of excuses, but we're going to get this right today. Al, if you will, please, just, can you call the place to worship, please, if you don't mind?
If you're trying to lose belly fat.
What? Belly fat? I'm not trying to use. Okay, so we missed that one, but let's try it again. Here we go.
Brothers and sisters, family and friends.
Hallelujah!
The hour is upon us to once again make some noise. If you don't so desire to make noise with us, come forward, grab your pew, grab your fan and your bulletin, and come make some noise. If there are any amongst you,
yes, let them come, let them come. Thank you. Appreciate you, baby. All right.
I used to feel threatened when I'd come to church and that man would stand up there with his hand open.
Why?
And I don't know. It just felt like, what do you want?
He wants you to come.
That extended hand was going to be followed by, I got some candy. You want some candy?
Right.
Ye that are weary, come. And heavy laden.
Won't you come? It was, won't you come?
Come ye disconsolate.
That boy. You want me to pull over in the middle of a road trip. Play that song.
That'll get you, that'll pull you over?
See,
Boy. Well, the right duo. The right duo.
What is it specifically about that song that gets
And
you?
that song is powerful, not just the lyrics, but the arrangement. Come ye this come. Man, I'm about to shout right now.
oh,
Well, listen. Let him use you. Let him use you, Al. Put your weight on it. Back off of it. Put something else on it. I don't know.
nope. Put something else.
I heard a version of that song performed by, I think it was Los Angeles. What church was it in Los Angeles? It's one of them big churches in Los Angeles.
It's Bishop Blake.
You're muted, Lloyd, if you're talking to us.
It's probably Bishop Blake Church because that's who normally be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a cathedral, right? Los Angeles Cathedral.
I don't know if he calls it a cathedral. It's a church. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's called a cathedral. I've never heard it called a cathedral.
Well,
I feel like you just made that up on the spot. Like right now, you was like,
no, I did not.
Let's call it a cathedral. See what Lloyd thinks. Which is just cold-blooded, man. I don't like it. You know, I'm over here working on something that's very special and dear to the show. And my computer again.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the Mount Rubidoux SDA choir.
Out there. Okay. The what?
Mount Rubidoux.
Are you just making that up?
Rubidoux.
I don't know what that is. I feel like at this point we're just making up churches' names and trying
really?
to sound cute.
That's what you think?
Where is the doggone thing that I'm looking for? Okay, you know what? The computer won't let me be great. I'll do it this way because the computer won't let me be great. It don't want to help me. But I found it will find. First of all, this will be a drop in soon. But today I'll just have to do it this way and share it from a different perspective. But you know what, computer? We're gonna have a meeting after the show, a production meeting, and you're not gonna like what I have to say.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No! No!
Okay, now it won't even let me find the video. You know what? I'm done. Let's talk to Cuz. Cuz, what's going on, buddy? Hey, buddy.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
You just missed Al's soliloquy on the hymn "Come Ye Disconsolate." I didn't know that was one of his favorite hymns. Are you familiar with that hymn, sir?
I would have to hear it.
You don't know "Come Ye Disconsolate"?
Sounds like Catholic to me, but talk to me. Tell me what you're talking about.
It's a beautiful hymn. It's "Come Ye Disconsolate."
That's Catholic.
Where ye languish, come to the mercy seat, fervently kneel.
That must have been way back in the hymn book. I don't.
No, it was very early on in the hymn book.
He trying to tell you it wasn't in the black hymn book.
We both black.
That don't mean nothing.
It means it was in the black hymn book.
Not necessarily.
If you go to that red Baptist hymnal with the gold cross in the middle, you know, "Come ye disconsolate." Maybe your church wasn't progressive, or they couldn't pronounce disconsolate.
You know, you did work for a lot of Presbyterians.
I didn't work for no. You know what, Mama Noise?
Yeah, you did.
What are you doing right now? What are you doing later? Because that same production meeting that we having with the computer, your ass need to be there too.
You know what? The computer is not gonna keep letting you talk crazy to him, so you better be nice.
I'm being nice, baby. Ooh, I was just kidding about the meeting. The only one that's coming to that meeting is Mama.
He was like, "I will shut this."
You know, I've had a rough morning.
Oh no, what's going on, buddy?
Well, this past Sunday, my sister-in-law came over and made some Jamaican fritters.
Okay. That sounds innocent enough.
And I thought to myself, I said, self say, huh? I say, why in the hell have I been with this woman for 30 years? She's never even mentioned fritters.
Okay.
My sister-in-law comes here and makes me some fritters. She made up a bunch of them, the batter, and put the batter in the refrigerator outside. And I just went out there and got that batter and made me a couple of fritters this morning. And I'm here to tell you that
Sweet, savory, what kind of fritters?
It's making me wonder, why did I marry a Jamaican if she can't cook Jamaican? Listen, don't be from the South, women, and not be able to make biscuits.
Well, let me answer that question for you.
If I marry somebody from England, please be able to make me some tea.
Okay, but let me answer this question in a way that I think you can appreciate. I believe it was in the prophetic movie Boomerang, where the lady said, "You ain't marry me for my cooking."
Well, that in which you believe that's so important that I didn't marry you for, I can get that from anywhere.
Really not.
For the man. Do something for the man that he can't get.
She's dropping it low. And apparently that was enough to get you. You the one got distracted and didn't ask in the middle of, hey. You the one got distracted in the middle of it and didn't ask, hey, by the way, can you make fritters?
And you didn't make that a requirement on that date. You were so busy playing your gospel music, you wasn't thinking about no biscuits.
That's right. Mama, you're going to marry somebody from New Orleans and she can't make no gumbo? What you doing?
But when you went on that date, that was not on your mind. Your stomach wasn't what was on your mind.
Oftentimes, I'm accused of being defender of the earth. I'm always taking the women's side and how effed up and jacked up men are. Let me tell you something, women. If you can't cook your native food from where you from, you just ass jacked up. You worthless.
Worthless?
Lies.
Whoa! Shit here. I'm tired of this shit.
Lies.
Wow, this escalated quickly.
He's so full of shit.
Oh my God.
You never answered my question. Were they sweet, savory? What were they? What kind of fritters?
Well, they're basically our salmon croquettes, but they use what they call saltfish. And they don't put an egg in it. We put an egg in our salmon croquettes, but they don't put an egg in it. They just use flour.
I didn't actually break down the ingredients. I just said, were they sweet or savory?
I mean, this is a long-winded ass answer.
Nope.
Are you done?
Right. Can you please tell the man, was it sweet or savory? Damn.
So these fritters cause all this fussing.
He can't even hold it together.
Women walking around here talking about men ain't this and men ain't that. Man, your ass can't even make a biscuit. What are we doing? I'm not gonna marry no Asian woman that can't fry me some rice.
Damn, he racking up the racist button.
Where's the button?
God damn, that was racist.
It's like marrying a white woman and she can't make you no casserole. Come on now.
I don't want her to make me no casserole. Don't nobody want no unseasoned casserole.
I mean, listen.
But to make you one.
Which casserole would that be? Are they
green bean?
Are they infamous for all casseroles or just green bean?
Green bean casserole. I mean, squash. Any old thing. I don't know. They
no.
Are you done? Are you done?
I mean,
I had to step away to take a phone call, but
I mean, this is really
what set this diatribe off?
I mean, what in the world?
The fritters. What the fritter? The fritters have caused all this confusion.
This mother fritter right here.
The point is, you don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know it.
Well, guess what? Your ass is stuck now. So what are you gonna do? What is it?
do about the damn fritters?
That's your fault. That's your fault. You should have had should have put a list together. Write down all the shit you can cook. You didn't do that.
No, because he didn't have his stomach on his mind. He had his loins on his mind. Is that the reason why he got what he got? So I don't want to hear no fish.
You can't come in here today with
yesterday's price is not today's price.
Not true in your case.
That's right. Talking about Oprah like that. Shame on you. Wait till I see
I'm
Oprah.
talking about any of these snitches out here that can't cook.
Well, it can't be snitches though.
All this started on some freaking fritters. Unbelievable.
Well, your brother hooked you up. He married a woman that could make the fritters, and so you won by default.
I mean, listen, you still got what you
They said, preach. Why are you encouraging him, Sean? Preach that racist doctrine? No, that's not a thing.
Well, he went through the whole list. The whole list. Get you an Asian woman can't cook no rice. What?
I know one thing about Opal.
Oh, I want you to put it out. Put some respect on it.
Knock it off, buddy.
Oh, that was tight.
She ain't gonna say it no more.
Whoa.
Now I could have pulled up.
Put some respect on it.
But that ain't gangster.
Put some respect on it.
I want to look in your face.
Put some respect on it.
That ain't gonna say.
Don't say it no more. Oh.
Y'all
really hot about these fritters. Why are you so angry about it?
Lips all greasy. And
I mean, he is really upset. Y'all, hold on. Let's call it. Look, this is anger, frustration.
Listen.
I don't understand what is going on right now.
These women that I hear that believe they good is good enough.
Well, is she wrong?
That's a lie. That's a lie.
That is not true.
Lie. You need to bring something else to the table besides your goodies.
If that's all she brought to the table, she's Mrs. Joyner right now.
Do me a favor. Hold up your left.
That ain't all my wife brought to the table.
Okay.
I'm talking about women in general. I'm talking about women in general.
Oh,
I'm walking around here thinking your goodies is all.
But you're supposed to be the defender. What is happening?
You need to learn how to cook.
Well, then go ahead. Pull her in the kitchen then.
He defender of the earth, but them fritters was apparently his.
I'm just saying then. Go on in the kitchen with her then.
You're so busy worrying about negligee. You need to worry about what is it called? Apron. You need to put on an apron every now and then. Shit, take off that negligee, put on an apron.
Oh, damn.
Shit.
You really are upset.
Sean. Tell him, Sean.
Get you a rolling pin in one hand and a sifter in the other one.
Them fritters must have been amazing.
To come against a whole
Were they that good? Those fritters were that good?
Let
me ask you a question.
Out of sight.
Were they sweet or were they savory? We never really asked.
I just told you. It was just like, do you know what salmon croquettes are?
I do know what salmon croquettes are.
Don't ask that question no more. I already told you. Like our salmon croquettes.
Everybody don't cook them right.
Anybody that put sugar in salmon croquettes, don't you eat that? Don't you ever eat at that house no more.
Well, guess they're not sweet.
Wow.
Damn.
Those sweet ass salmon croquettes. We don't do that.
Do you have water near you? Just out of curiosity. You might want to drink a little bit of that just to cool off a little bit. Man. I mean, he came in with big fritter energy this morning.
What the fritter energy?
I mean, woo. I don't even know how to start the show now.
He's like, I had some batter and made me some myself.
I don't know. I wasn't expecting any of this today. I'm being honest.
Anthony Bruce said, less Saturday night sex, more Sunday morning fritters. I mean, apparently.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay. Maybe we should start the show just to give Cuz time to, settle this shit down. He's very hostile.
I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna shut up. I have a good couple friend of mine.
Lies.
No, I'm just saying because you said you was gonna shut up afterwards. That's not true. I can't let that slide.
He's black, and she has a different nationality. Let's just put it like that.
Okay. So
they got those biracial kids. Negro, black. She's different nationality. Biracial kids.
Okay.
And I was talking with her just the other day, and she was telling me how the kids have never had collard greens.
Were you offended?
Kids have never had black-eyed peas. See, I don't believe you should have. Listen, folks, we identify our culture in large part through our food. If I'm from a region, I should be able to provide that food to my kids so that they can understand. Listen, don't walk around here talking about you black and you ain't never had no collard greens and cornbread. Color ain't but skin deep. Your culture is much deeper.
The chat agrees with some of the people in the chat agree with you. They think that's abuse.
What's abuse?
Not feeding your kids collard greens and stuff.
Your culture. Now, the kids know her culture. They got her food down pat. And his ragged ass the totally neglected his culture. Just I ain't gonna teach him that.
Well, maybe he like her culture food better.
Yeah, my wife been here for all these years, ain't never mentioned no damn fritter. But when they were cooked on Sunday morning, her ass was the first one in the kitchen to eat them.
Did she say she knew how to cook them?
Oh, she don't know how to cook them. I'm telling you.
What is the problem? She don't know how to do that.
You could read. All that damn education. Read.
Maybe her thought process was, well, his black ass can cook everything else. Why can't he cook fritters?
There you go.
Hell, I never knew about it. But I made salmon croquettes. I made salmon croquettes.
You don't know about the fritters either?
I ain't from Jamaica.
So don't nobody in the house know nothing about fritters. Everybody just, you know other foods in the culture.
Make the rice and peas. Or
right.
The peas and
that's
rice.
That's what they taught me. They never taught me the fritters.
No, maybe you just wasn't learning.
No, they never mentioned them. Trust me. Me love anything fried with onions, and you fry them fritters with onions. That saltfish. And you said you didn't want the recipe. Okay, I'll shut up. I'm done.
This is an epic rant that has happened this morning. Please mark your date and your time because
although
never see this one again.
Although I might need that recipe because they sound like they're spiritually cleansing fritters. They're purging your spirit. So maybe I do need that recipe.
They want to know, do you want some cheese with your wine this morning?
Bring some things to the surface.
Wow, the Noisemakers are unrelentless. They are not feeling your pain at all.
Facts. Even Sean said, what exactly was in those things?
They don't have to feel my pain. I'm telling you, women, learn how to cook.
She just cooked you something over the weekend? She just cooked you something.
Listen, to that point. Your ass up in there making $60 tenderloin. Your ass could have made $5 fritters.
You would have preferred the fritters over the tenderloin?
You damn right. Them fritters good. Now, the tenderloin was very good, too. Now, I ain't hating on that. But you're making other food.
Are you done? Are you done?
Okay, so let me say this, and I'm gonna shut up. As black people, if we don't, if we don't teach our kids our culture, it's gonna die. We have to teach them, and a lot of that is through our food and then conversation.
I agree.
Right. I just wanted to let you know that Twitter had said Apparently, your wife said if she put on the good, she'll never have to make fritters a day in her life.
There it is.
And so she didn't.
They're also asking, can we burp you because you're fussy? I don't
like a fussy baby.
Ooh.
Mama Noise is, and I know, well, it's intended to be a punch at you as well. But isn't there a documentary about our culture and our food that he could?
Yeah, it's called High on the Hog.
There actually is a documentary. That's
and
actually
it's on
true.
Netflix.
You should watch it.
It talks about where
you no damn documentary to tell me about black culture.
But you just said the culture. Well, the culture comes all the way from Africa, and it tells you the whole timeline.
I played spades this weekend. I know my damn culture. Who do you think you talking
about? The culture in regard to where it came from Africa and certain reasons why we eat certain foods. All of that history.
Go back to Africa to know how black I am. I played spades.
No one is talking about how black you are. That is evident. What we're saying is that when you go and look at the timeline,
I didn't see no button there. See there? See there?
Woo! You just threw it out there in midstream too, like that is evident.
I mean, that's not in question here. We're just trying to let you know historically where it all began. It's nice.
Right, is this the cooking show? Thank you, Tara.
Because it started with some what the fritters. That's what it started with.
Are we gonna change the name of the show on Wednesday? What the fritter?
Yeah. The next VNR Supper Club.
I mean, listen.
What the fritter?
Are you good now? You feel better? You got it out your system?
just a speaker of truth. That's all. Just a speaker of truth.
All right.
Free.
Well, truth is. Well, listen. Truth is important because apparently, if you don't tell the truth about stuff, that shit will cost you. Remember, we want to amend the story that we talked about earlier on Monday, where we said that Cardi B would be receiving $1.25 million for the egregious lies that were told against her by social media influencer Tasha K. I apologize. Since Monday, that story has changed. She will now be receiving $3.5 million from one Tasha K. Apparently, everything that Cardi B wanted, legal fees, damages, whatever else, she gonna get all of it.
So why were all the headlines reporting 1.25? Where did that figure come from?
That was the base number. That was the base number prior to the jury coming back with their assessment of what else was going to take place. And then once they came back, they said, "Nah, 1.5 ain't quite enough. We're gonna need you to go and pay that 3.5." And I was like,
you gonna learn today.
Listen, Tasha K may have to go get a regular job, a night job or something, because I don't think her net worth is 3.5 million.
I hope she had that insurance for like insurance we had to have. We was trying to have church services in a movie theater. They was like, "I'm gonna need you to sign right here that you got $1 million worth of insurance to cover this."
Let me ask you a question, Jay, just real quick. If God forbid, but are you nervous about anything that you said about Opal ever coming back to haunt you, and that she might sue your ass? Like, do you ever think about like all of the egregious statements that you've made, the inflammatory, derogatory remarks, name calling at some time? Do you ever think, damn, that woman might sue me? And here's the thing: if they sequester the video of Talkin NOIZ, if we're subpoenaed, I mean, I'm not going to jail for your ass. I'm turning the videos over. So I'm just saying, are you prepared? Have you prepared yourself? Do you have like a London Lords of London's Gap insurance that will cover you just in case, just for such a time as this? Is what I'm saying. Like this fritter rant you just went on. Do you ever think that could come back and bite you in the ass? Is what I'm trying to ask you.
Absolutely not.
See, this is why niggas get caught, man. They don't be prepared. They don't be planning nothing. And now, next minute, you in the court, and Mama Noise on the stand. Yes, Your Honor. He talked about her fritters, and he said she was this, that, and the other. Mama Noise keeps all receipts. You in trouble, nigga.
Say, first of all, I am standing with Opal that says you did not ask her prior to marriage. You let your loins speak for you. Then once you get married, now you want to start making some requirements. You should have been able to cook. You ain't asked about my cooking before you turned on those gospel songs, bruh.
And there's a possibility that, like Anthony Bruce said, that she could bust you in the head with one of them fritters. You're in a very dangerous situation is what I'm trying to reveal to you right now.
You guys obviously thinking.
We thinking what? We thinking that
I need like the STM. I need to come up with. You guys obviously think I'm a PAN. You obviously think I'm a PAN. No, you got to think I'm a PAN because you telling me I fear. Man, get the hell out of here.
I'm just saying.
I say that which I say, and once I say it, I'm done with it.
Concern, maybe.
You know that she also was trained in the ARMY. So she could also take the ninja out.
And from Southside.
Listen, my wife was in the ARMY, but she was damn sure not a soldier. I was a soldier.
How you know she wasn't a soldier? Aren't you automatically a soldier?
You gotta go do basic training.
She may not be artillery.
We still trying to
trained to be a soldier.
That's right.
We're still trying to figure out how she made it through basic training.
Just ninja.
They trying to tell you she ain't no PAB now. Anthony, they said Al Green wasn't no punk either till the grits hit him.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry that I was this years old when I heard the story. I didn't know that was
Woo, man. Okay. I'm just saying my only concern was I don't want you to end up $3.5 million poorer because you won't stop talking about the woman. That's all I was saying. Oh Lord, I'm not raising my baby right. She just asked who's Al Green.
Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord. Now I hear it, cuz. I'm hearing it. I'm
not gonna say a damn thing.
I'm hearing it. I just heard it. Oh, maybe you don't know who Al Green is. We play the music for her all the time.
All the time. What we don't say. Here go. This is the time.
Maybe she didn't connect the dots.
And this is the song.
Okay, she just didn't connect the dots. It's okay. It's okay. All is well. We're fine. We're fine. Ooh, that scared me just now.
Love and happiness, baby, is Al Green. Love and happiness.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't put that on the chat. Don't out your family like that. That's not. I have another update that I need to bring to the table as well. This is an update from one Meagan Good. Y'all remember Meagan Good? She divorced the good pastor Devon Franklin.
Did you say she divorced the good pastor?
Well, he divorced her.
He divorced her. Yeah.
He divorced her. I apologize.
But you said the good pastor.
I know what I said. It's a double entendre.
Oh,
I'm very good at this.
Oh.
She was on a Twitter Space. Twitter Space is the new clubhouse where you go into a virtual room and you talk to a group of people or whatever. Twitter decided they're going to take Clubhouse's people from them by using Twitter Space. She said while chatting in there in the room, she spoke about how she approached a relationship in the past with an understanding that at some point they'll get to the place where that they're going to and that it would be over. Then she said, but that wasn't quite the case in her marriage. She said in her situation right now, it's a little bit different because I thought that would be the last time that I would be doing that I would be doing this with that person forever.
It's too many that's and
I mean,
it's a very poorly constructed sentence. She said,
vocabulary.
huh?
Need to broaden her vocabulary.
Well, it's not church words, so I don't know. She said, saying this incident has been the most painful thing she's ever experienced in her life. She is also optimistic, though. She said, I still am hopeful for the future. Maybe this isn't a chapter, but I just feel that it's my next act in life, and I trust God. And then she said, not everything makes sense to me right now, but I do trust God overall, and I'm excited to see what this next act of life is going to be and what God has in store. And that's all I can really do. But even in doing that, I do have gratitude and so much joy in my heart for these past 11 years that Devon and I have been together, what he's given into my life and what I was able to give to him, just everything. It's really long.
That was a lot.
Some of her photo ops since the divorce does not indicate a person in pain.
Well, you got to stunt for the gram. You got to stunt for the gram. And of course, they're saying he didn't marry her for vocabulary. So while we worried about the that's and the thises.
But maybe he divorced her because he got tired of hearing that, this, and that.
Wow.
She married a person.
She probably couldn't fix fritters.
How do we end back up here?
Somehow I don't see her backing it up to the stove, trying to cook no hot water cornbread and all that stuff. I just don't see that. She probably looked like a vegan. She might even need vegan tofu. But please believe he went ahead and married her regardless of what she could cook.
Todd said most people don't take photos to promote pain. No, they don't take it to promote pain. They do take it to protect the image.
But yeah, you don't take photos to promote your joy and happiness, and then you're disguised in pain, and then you want us to come back and accept your pain. No.
Yeah. I don't listen. First of all, I don't know. I look at her situation and I think she might have been sold a bill of goods. Like he may have led her to believe that he was 1,000% supportive of her career and I just want you to be great and to shine and blah 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 blah. And then when he became the good pastor, it was like, well, now first lady lives a certain lifestyle and carries herself circumspectly, and I am a man of God and blah blah blah. So I think that's the part that I think she's saying when she says not everything makes sense to me right now. That might be the part where she's confused because she's like, I thought when we got married, I could still pull these titties out on film, and now you saying I can't, and I don't understand. You married me, I had them out. Matter of fact, you commented on them on our first date. You was like, my God, I'm glad you haven't forsaken me. I think that was the quote that you gave. And so I don't understand why all of a sudden, and then she said, and then the rumor is that he said he wanted kids and she didn't want kids. And not because she didn't love kids, but because she felt like at this stage in her career that, the bounce back from kids is different than it would have been had she been younger.
Listen.
So, yeah, which is true. She's not wrong about that. So,
I'm going to tell you, just on that statement right there is, look at what happened to Kim Kardashian. Now, Kim Kardashian had, I don't know which one it was. No, the other ones were.
She pushed that first one out.
That first one, I mean, when she went to the the opera, she was big as a house trying to have that one child. And it does a lot to your body. And when you wait till a certain age to start trying to have them, sometimes like Mr. Noise said, that bounce back is a struggle up the rough side of the mountain unless you got the necessary monies to try to plastic surgery and nip and tuck and all that stuff to try to fix it. But it's a lot.
But I'll ask this question. Is that a work throughable situation? I asked that to all of you. Is that a work throughable situation? When the two things that I mentioned, you're now the first lady. I need you to act like it, and I want these kids, but you don't want them. Are those work throughable situations?
I think one of the dumbest things that people do is we marry at an early age or whatever age. And I don't do X, Y, Z during the dating period. And then later on in life, our go-to, our barrier that we throw up is when you married me, I didn't do it. That's the biggest cop-out and crock of shit known to man. Because once you realize that what your spouse like, your ass should make every effort to give them what they want. Because you didn't do it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. I have a close relative that just got a divorce after 30 years, and she was never a cooker. She's still not a cooker. And she bragged about the fact they raised their kids, and she bragged about the fact that she never cooked. But he wanted someone that would cook and would, do more around the house than what she would do. So he left her after 33, I think it was, years. But her stance is, I didn't do it when we got married. That's a real ignorant statement for so many of us to make, because we have to understand that growth is imperative. Maturing and changing is inevitable.
Is that growth?
For you to stick to what you didn't do at 21, and now that your ass is 51, and you still say, I didn't do it at 21, well then that's.
But is that growth? Is that growth that I didn't cook, and then at some point I chose to start cooking? That's growth.
Cooking is not just the issue. I'm talking about in general. Whatever it is your spouse like, you should learn. If the man likes biscuits, you need to get your ass in the kitchen and learn how to make some biscuits. If she likes flowers, and during the dating process, you never bought flowers. But now that you realize she loves flowers, then you need to make every effort to have her some flowers on some special days and some non-special days.
So I want to make sure I understand your theory completely.
What I said was clear. What do you mean, understand?
Well, because it was simplistic in explanation, yet when you measure it against the totality of the actual question that I asked, it's weird. Because according to your theory, you didn't want kids in the beginning of the marriage, but because I now want kids, you should make every effort to have kids? Because that's basically what you said. That's your theory. That's what I asked. Is that a deal breaker, or is that a work throughable situation? I married you. You wasn't Pastor Franklin. You now are Pastor Franklin, and now you want me to uproot my entire life and become First Lady Franklin.
Everything's work throughable.
Okay.
Well,
even those things that are biblically excusable are work throughable.
Mm-hmm.
If you're willing to get past the hurt, get past the pain, get past the complication or whatever, the situation. He wanted kids and she didn't. If that's the case, that's work throughable. She don't want to destroy her body. Well, we can adopt.
This is testimonial time. My wife didn't want kids when we got married. That's why it took us 11 years to have a kid, 12 years to have a kid, because she didn't want kids. But after being with me all those years and seeing me with my niece and nephew and seeing the man that I was, she eventually realized, you know what? This man deserves to be a daddy. He would be an amazing daddy. So you have to reevaluate that what you say you don't want, that what you say you don't do. You got to reevaluate that with your spouse, and don't just stick to your guns just because. I didn't do it then, I ain't gonna do it now. Really? You dumbass.
Sacrifice is not always simple. Some sacrifices are great, but are you willing to do that to salvage your marriage, your relationship? Maybe that's a sacrifice that she or he should be willing to take.
Well, what's interesting about this particular conversation of sacrifice is that it seems like he's asking her to make sacrifices. I don't hear him saying, this is what I'm willing to sacrifice.
Well, I've referenced this once before, but I knew a young lady that she was about to get married. She was engaged to a guy who was a millionaire. And he told her from the beginning, listen, I think this relationship's going to work. I want you to be my wife. But now here's the thing. I don't want children. And are you okay with that? And that's not something that's going to change. The older I get, there's nothing you can do to convince me. And he just laid it all out there. And he said, now, if you say to me that having kids is more important to you than what I'm saying here, then let's go ahead now and let's call off this engagement, because this is my stance and I'm not going to change. Well, she said, no, it's okay. It's fine. We'll work it out. It's not a big deal. And apparently it was a big deal to her. It was absolutely a big deal. She wanted children regardless. And so they got married, and she thought maybe if I give him enough good, he will think that, you know what, maybe she, I'll talk him into having some children. And he said, I told you I don't want children. And so then they end up getting divorced because she thought it didn't matter, figuring that I can just go ahead and we'll just work it out. It wasn't something to be, it was non-negotiable. He said he didn't want that. And sometimes, yes, we do. We're thinking, because we know, I'm pretty sure of the hearts of everybody here on this screen, that you say, okay, we can work through this. You can adopt this. Never. He was like, Dad, I don't want kids. And I just need you to understand that. And now, if you're okay with it, like I said, we can move forward. But if you got a problem with it, we need to stop, pump the brakes right now.
Yeah, I since we're still in testimonial, I've never wanted kids, which is the reason I was 31, almost 32 when I had my first one. I never wanted any kids. I was the youngest of 6. There was always a house full of calamity. It's like, we can up and go whenever we want to. Nothing, But, she wanted kids, and now we got 2 beautiful, wonderful, respectful, best part of me. So
that's a risky play, though. It's a risky play if a person doesn't.
It is a risky play if you're married to a complete selfish ass.
But somebody said it in the chat earlier. Those conversations are imperative. Those should be premarital conversations.
And
I agree.
I don't think it's a good idea to marry somebody who is adamant at the beginning in the hopes that they might change along the way. That's a risky situation. And I don't know. And you can call it selfish if you want to, because that's fine. But that's their choice to be that way. And if they choose to be that way at the beginning, they're telling you what they are. So you might be the crazy one to say, well, I know you're selfish, but I think I can change your selfishness. Yeah. Maybe you can, but that's a risky thing.
Sometimes people don't know to the degree of how selfish someone is.
Right.
Plenty of people marry selfish people, and you don't realize just how selfish they are until you're deep into the marriage. And I do believe that premarital counseling would be helpful, but during that dating time, oftentimes you are willing to look past certain things,
right,
and think that you can yourself adapt to certain things. And truthfully, though I should have been a father of 4, I know I would have been a damn good dad to 4 kids. I only have 1. But the reality is, she saw it, just who I was as a man and what I had to offer as a man. If you can't look at your spouse and value them and what they have to offer a child, they're desiring it and you won't give it to them, and you see what they have to offer. Can
I build on what? Can I build? Well, hold on, because I want to build on what you said. Because here's the other side of it. Maybe she did see what he was as a man, and she was like, "I don't want to raise a child with this type of man." Remember, we've said on this show many times, every preacher in the public ain't one in the private. So maybe he's a jerk, and she's like, I would never want to raise children with you. I would never want any half of anything that we both share together because of who you are. And so it could be more to the story than just as simple as, because I think women typically, like you said, because see the man, experience his love and who he is and his stuff, and they go, wow, I think I could raise it. Maybe I was wrong. I would love to have this man's child. But sometimes maybe she's looking at him saying, oh, God, this is not only do I
look at Stefan's comment. People always got to take it too far.
Stay at the chat.
I mean, always in the chat, these ninjas. Okay. If your spouse is into swinging and you're not, does that make you selfish? What? How do we get to that?
Exactly. Come on. That's too far.
If your spouse is into swinging and you're not.
Y'all said we were in testimonial period.
Yeah, we did. We did child testimony service. Look at these balls. I'm sorry. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that lady that gave that testimony?
Yeah. So
really, I like the testimony. I like to call the realest testimony ever given in a church.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah, she was honest. She said, "That's what I do on the weekends. I'm out here." Go ahead,
to me, one of the testimonials I will say simply is,
Steph, I'm gonna ask you a question too, by the way. Go ahead.
Is when you have plans to have children and then it's not as easy as you thought. You thought you could just, okay, we married now, we got the green light, we licensed, go forth and have children, and it just doesn't just automatically happen.
Right.
But you had every intent, in your heart to give your spouse the child that, that they want.
Right.
But like Al said, well then okay, change lanes, and there are other options. Change lanes to in vitro if you rolling like that, because that's super expensive. That's not, they ain't got no layaway plans for in vitro fertilization, and then for adoption, all that stuff is super expensive. But I'm just simply saying that was when I first got married to Mr. Noise. That just wasn't something that was just popping off. I just knew, man, soon as we get married, pow, I was going to be pregnant. And it was like, okay, not pregnant. What is happening right now? That was a super challenge. But I'm gonna tell you full disclosure. I never thought, it wasn't that I didn't want to have kids. Kids just wasn't something that came to my forefront. I was like, I'm single. kids, what's that? Apparently that'll take place whenever I get married, and then I'll deal with it at that time. But it wasn't something that I said, you know what, one day I'm gonna have a bunch of kids. And that was not my perspective.
Stefan clarified. He said, "You said, Jay, talking to you, you're selfish if having kids is a deal breaker." So that's where his statement came from.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying. I do believe that my entire marriage, in my opinion, has been about give and take. And that which you're passionate about, your spouse needs to make every effort, in my opinion, to give that to you. If you don't give it to them, who in the hell gonna give them to them? That's my point. We're not willing to sacrifice that in which we believe we want. For instance, Al B said he didn't want kids.
Right.
You talk to Al B today, he'll tell you the greatest gifts in his life are his kids. So we make decisions, and some people have valid reasons because of their childhood. They just refuse to put kids through. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're with a spouse that wants kids, then we need to figure out a way to come together. And I mean, for instance, full disclosure, I was willing. I never pressured my wife to have kids, ever. Never once said, I want kids. When she said she didn't want kids, I went along with it. My family was pissed. Every time we got a new dog, they say, what the hell? Get rid of these damn dogs and go have some kids. Because they knew who I was. But yet, I never pressured her. I promise you, not one day in our marriage. But she saw who I was and eventually said, you know what? Yeah.
But you know what? It is a lot of pressure that gets put on a married couple. Even if they made the decision, the pressure comes not between, sometimes it's not the pressure that comes between the two spouses. The pressure comes from the family that immediately is saying, well, y'all married now, like y'all in the club now. Now we're ready to see the fruit of your labor. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna need you to pump the brakes. We just got married. We're learning each other even more to another level. But folks is like, because y'all married, now come on now, chop, need to hurry up and have those kids. And it's like, what in the world?
Most normal relationships want to have children in an environment of love and commitment. Maybe. I don't know the Franklin Good family at all. I'm only going by what they've stated publicly and trying to read between the tea leaves. Maybe there was, once they got in the marriage, there was a shaky element within the marriage that created trepidation for her to say, I don't know if we should do this. I can't imagine. And because I may be, like you say all the time, I may be wrong with two left shoes, but I'm just saying, I can't imagine if he is treating her the way publicly that he said he did from those pulpits that he talked about how great his marriage were from, then why would she not want to honor that request for him? Regardless of what issues it may, public, because they got money. So to Mama Noiz's point, she could pull her body back if with money, they got money to do that. So I wonder if this is more of a emotional and psychological decision than it was, and historical, because maybe there's a trauma tied to her desire not to want kids. Maybe she feels, maybe the way she grew up or what she saw, I don't want kids. And why is it more selfish to deny the spouse than it is to honor the request. Is it fair to make the request if a person has been adamant? Like if she told him from the jump, I really don't want no kids now, and you still pressing her, is that selfish or is that just you not listening? I'm just asking.
Well, medically, I think that, when I used to work in ambulatory care, there was a place on the medical form that said, an assessment, like before you get married, an assessment, or you get a physical for marriage. What if you find out that this person's body is, the person's body may not be able to handle a childbirth. That's not something that is the norm, and saying, oh, I'm getting married soon, or I think I want to get married one day. I need to go and have a physical to make sure that I'm able to have children. So I can know what to tell whoever. If you want to marry me, I'm glad you like my exterior, but just for future reference, can't have no babies.
Well, that wouldn't do no good for some Christians, because they just believe that prayer will change that. We're just gonna pray you into pregnancy.
Well, I'm one of those people that will pray you into pregnancy, and I've seen the fruit thereof. So I'm the wrong person to comment on that.
That's what I'm saying. So that don't do no good saying that.
But I'm just saying there is some. I mean, and when we had Dr. Welsh on there, shout out to Dr. Welsh, is that is a couple of there is a couple of challenges for Black women, and a lot of us that don't go out and get all the gynecological care that we should get yearly are not even aware of the things that could hinder that should you decide you want to have children, until after they've tried and they say, man, what's the holdup? Then they go and do to go see a specialist.
I just think, aside from those things, because that's a whole different subject to me, that I want to focus on the actual comments and thoughts of what they're saying. And if she's saying, hey man, I told you I didn't want to have no kids when we were sitting in the restaurant and you was telling me how fine I was. I told you I didn't want to have kids when we went on the walk on the nature trail up the mountain, and I told you, and you was telling me I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. And I told you I didn't want to have no kids when you asked me to marry me. I've been telling you the whole time. So to get in here 11 years in and you're still asking, I don't want them. I mean, he tried it. It didn't work. I don't know, man. I think, listen, full disclosure, there was a young lady that I dated prior to Mama Noise. Very beautiful. We got along wonderfully. I thought in my head, I said, this could be something. And we had a conversation, and she said, well, she actually had kids. And she said, well, I don't want any more kids. I was like, oh, well, that's it then. She was like, what? I said, well, I want kids. Yeah, but we getting along so well. Everything's going so great. It is. But I want kids. One day, I'm going to want kids. Not saying it's got to be year one, but I want kids. She told me right off she didn't want no more kids. Matter of fact, she had taken out, or she had tied up all the plumbing to make sure there would be no kids. Now, what am I going to do? Take the risk, get married to her? Maybe she might untie the plumbing and go back. I don't want to do that. And I never thought it was fair to ask her to do it. So I just said, okay. As much as I like you, as much as I think you're an amazing person and we get along great and it's awesome, I don't want to go through that with you. I don't want to resent you later because you told me this. I married you thinking that you might change your mind. And then 5 years in, 10 years in, you still haven't changed your mind. It's better if we just make it clean right now. That was my thought process too.
Do we get married to one another because you have the ability to reproduce, or do we get married to one another because I love you?
I think we get married. I I think we get married because we want to have families. And whatever our definition of families is, that's what our intent, that's what our desire is. So for some, family is just me and you traveling the world together, sipping wine on a gondola in Venice, Italy. No kids and no responsibility, but we making this paper and we built a life together. I have a cousin right now. She got married and she said to her mama, don't expect no grandkids. It's never going to happen. They've been married 35, almost 40 years. There are no kids, never have been kids, never been a mention of kids. They love their life. That's their family, the two of them. So I think you get married on your definition of what you want family to be. But I think also it has to be clear at the beginning of what you think your definition of family is. And if you think your definition is a wife and kids, or a husband and kid, or kids, then that needs to be discussed. Now, the kids part you can't ultimately control, because that's God's thing. You know, God's going to help you decide that part. But
so for those people that get married because they want kids, you said family, but we talked about kids. So for those people that get married that want kids, are those the ones? I'm just asking the questions. Are those the ones that get a divorce after the kids leave home?
Yeah, sometimes.
Now there's nothing holding them together. It was all about the kids the whole time.
Sometimes. I think sometimes. Listen. We get married for the reasons we get married. I know that's a simplistic statement, but that's real. We get married for the reasons we get married. Sometimes those reasons are not honorable. People aren't always honest in the beginning on the reasons they truly want to get married. You would think they would be, but they're not. And so, like you said, Jay, some people get married and they get in 2 years into the thing and they can't stand this person, but they fine as hell and they say, we'll probably make some beautiful babies. So then they get married, they create the children, and then their whole world becomes the kids. And then once the kids are gone, they're like, well, I ain't got no reason to be here. I think that's part of it. It's sad, but it's the truth.
That's what I learned, like I said, years back when I was hanging out with those ladies, and they was like, we trying to have as many children as possible to solidify our future. So if our NFL, NBA, multimillionaire husband decides he wants to go somewhere else, cool. Let's make sure you know you're going to take care of these kids and make sure I'm covered for giving you these kids. I was like, man, so clearly
typically Mama Noise, typically that mindset comes from horrific trauma, financial trauma as a child. I don't want to have to suffer anymore. I don't want to have to go through what I've gone through financially as a child anymore. So I'm going to solidify my future by any means necessary. Sad, but true.
There shouldn't be, but I know we say people get married for various reasons. That's why we got so many damn divorces, because there's only one reason to get married. There's only one reason, and that is because I love you and I want to be with you, build with you, grow with you.
Right.
Now, that building may include kids. It may not include kids, but I want to do life with you, the good, the bad, and the nuptials. It don't say through kids or not kids. It talk about for good and bad.
Right.
But yet we make kids the focal point, or we make other things the focal point, and then when it don't go quite the way we wanted it to go, then we ready to walk away from the person that we said I do to. That's a bunch of bullshit. I know I'm cussing a lot. I'm saying some things today that.
No, you're fine. You're fine because that's how you feel inside.
Yes, we understand. It's fritter withdrawal.
But got you feeling away, bro. I understand.
Our divorce rate is that high simply because, in part, because we get married for so many different reasons.
I agree. love has moved down the list.
Wow.
I mean, it has moved down the list for a lot of people. Some of it is time. I'm running out of time, and I need to make this happen. I don't know. I don't know what the hell was in that fritter, but it is.
I already told you it was salt fish. I already told you.
With an
But
egg.
saltfish don't normally make you act like this, Jay.
It said no sugar.
And then Tom gonna say that was 3 reasons. That was 1 reason. I want to do life with. I love you, and I want to do life with you. Whatever that includes.
Well,
so when life turns and life happens, there's an accident, and now you're not the same person you were when we got married.
What you say?
Want to do life with you.
But you're assuming, though, in that statement that you just made, that people consider life when they make the decision to want to get married.
No.
I don't think people often consider life when they're getting married. I think they consider the wedding.
Right.
They say, I want to get married because I want the wedding and I want to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on this dress and wedding and party and reception and da-da-da-da. This is going to be amazing, and all my friends are going to come, and I'm the star of the show.
Yeah.
And when all of that shit happens and it's over, and you're standing in a room with that person by yourself, you now have to do this thing called life.
What?
And
life trying to confuse me. What? But you know where I'm from. Don't go deep on me.
Oh, mercy.
All I'm saying is that I think before you throw the party, you should probably count the cost.
Woo!
But you know what? You really can't count the cost, and that's a reality.
I did. I had
some curveballs, man.
No. I agree with you, but there's some costs you can count. I counted that cost. I sat there. Let me tell you something. I really like this woman. She was really awesome. My friends liked it. They were like, man, she's cool. I was like, I know, right? She's pretty cool. And we sat down and she said, hey, I don't want no more kids. I was like, oh, ever? Like ever again? No.
The shop is closed.
She's like, I'm good on that. I was like, oh, okay. I thought about it a day or two. I said, do I want to live my life with no kids? And I say no kids, but what I meant was no kids that I have biologically fathered. Obviously, if I would have married her, her kids would have technically become my kids. But I didn't want that. I was like, as much as I appreciate her kids, I would have wanted some kids of my own. I counted the cost. And the cost I was going to have to pay in my life was far greater than the cost of that party I was going to throw. And I wasn't willing to pay that price. So there it is. Stephon said the truth is simply this. 65% of marriage end in divorce because people are truthful in the beginning. If you're not your partner's best friend, you're not going to survive the lack of sex stage of the relationship. Wait a minute. How do we get to that? Okay. You must have real connection based off of truth, not just fancy. Okay. I like what you said, though. Tara said truthfully everybody's being truthful all of a sudden. Truthful as a divorcee.
Said testimony.
Right. Truthful as a divorcee, I consider life. My parents were married for 50 years. His parents were married for 40 years, but we only made it 8. I take marriage seriously, but there are times when you know the wrong choice was made and it's best to walk away a free person. We both are good people and are much better apart than together. There you go. Listen, and if you make the choice in life and you get in and it don't work out, I understand that too. But I'll say this, and Tara, I know you and you will agree with me. It's so much easier to get divorced before you get married than after. That's why you got to ask. That's why there are some essential questions that I think you need to be asking right from the jump. And believe somebody if they tell you who you are and who they are. Believe them. I believe that woman. She was. Now, you know, it's interesting. She came back later and said, I think I would have changed if you'd have asked me. Oh.
Hell no. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You know what? I understand all that counseling and I know you guys are counselors and you believe in it, but it's bad to say, and I know nobody's going to agree with me, but I don't care. I believe the more inexperienced, naive, and ignorant you are at a young age, the better chance your marriage has of making it.
Interesting.
The more you know, the more experience you have, the more difficult it is for your marriage to make it.
Why do you say that?
Because God's original plan was for us to come together in ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't supposed to know nearly what we know. We know.
I don't disagree with any of that. I don't disagree with anything you just said.
That's true. That's a part of the problem. We know too much. We've done too much. We've seen too much. We've had too many experiences, and now it's more difficult for a marriage to work. Go on.
No. Now here's what's going to shock you. I absolutely 1000% agree. You should come to your marriage in ignorance. However, once you have taken the veil off, the scales off your eyes, now you need to gather information.
Oh, I agree.
Because technically, here's the shocker. Here's where it's going to offend everybody, but I'm not wrong. Because now you're not necessarily doing it God's way.
What do you mean?
Because we just said God wanted us to do it in ignorance. In other words, I don't know what this is like. I don't know what sex is like. I don't know anything. All I know is I'm attracted to this person. I think this might be the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. We get married. It's supposed to be as simple as that.
I agree.
So when I do marriage counseling with you, I'm just giving you basic tools to survive. I don't have to get into your deeper past. I don't have to get into your sexual experiences. I don't have to get into your debt and your credit that you done ran up. You're ignorant. You don't know anything. You've never done anything. You never had these experiences. That's the way it was designed to be. But because it's not, now we got to do it differently.
I agree.
We got to do it differently.
Well, but yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking that, I had my because I was engaged before I met Mr. Noise. I was engaged once before. And I'm telling you, during that process, I must have had some, what do they call them when you horses? The horses have blinders? Yes. I had blinders on, and I could see the caution lights. I could see that, but I was like, okay, this guy is so attractive. He loves me. He says he loves me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, okay, this is the guy. But I didn't see, as they say, the forest for the trees, that there was stuff right in front of me that I just kept looking past or looking over and saying it's going to get better in the by and by. And like a couple of the young ladies we've counseled in the past, they would say, well, it's going to get better once we get married because all he needs is a good woman. And I'm saying, man, I am here to testify that if I would have married that man, they probably not only.
Don't say it.
I'm just saying.
You're losing that over here.
I would have been in somebody's institution for a prison because that dude was a hoe. And I just could not process it because I was like, no, but he wants to marry me. He didn't ask me. He gave me this beautiful ring, blah, 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 and so and so. All of this forest for the trees that was like, girl, if he a hoe, he's going to continue to be one, whether you married to him or not. But I'm thinking, no, all he needs is like some other young ladies like me, where like, he just needs a good woman. He just needs a good Christian wife that's loyal and it's going to take care of him and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm willing to do all that, but he was not willing to give up, as Cuz has said here, his hoish ways. And was like, that's exactly what he wanted to do. So married or not, he was going to continue to do the same thing. So I'm so grateful to God. And nobody could try to change my mind from that. I'm so grateful to God to interrupt my plan so that I could run into the real man that God had for me that was, the perfect man. All that old other stuff, all that old, he smelled good, he looked good, he got a nice job, he got a this and that. All of that is irrelevant. You need to find somebody who's going to live life with you. And that's not what I was going by. I was going by my rose-colored glasses.
Tara said something interesting here. She said she found out her ex-husband was a smoker 3 years into the marriage. Some folk put up great charades. I think people are well, you're about to say something, boy. I think people are innately selfish by nature.
Correct.
Not offensively or even maliciously. Just
Correct.
We are selfish. We want what we want, right?
Natural.
It's natural. The challenge with that is that marriage is an institution where selfish behavior is impossible.
Yep.
It's impossible. It's impossible because of the very essence of what it is. Two lives coming together to live one basic existence together. And both lives affect each other. So that 3 years into the marriage, you find out as a smoker, that sounds like, oh, it's not a big deal. No, it's a huge deal. This nigga, your ass might die early on, and I didn't even know that because I didn't know you was doing it in the first place. It's so that's why I say, and I understand again, Jay, listen, I don't know if I've ever heard it said the way you said it, but I know you're right. We were supposed to be dumb when it came to marriage. You don't know nothing. You ain't never seen nothing.
Right.
You ain't never had nothing. Experience is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be as knowledgeable. But man, once that, I think it's the equivalent of once you eat the apple in the garden, once the scales are off your eyes and you see it for what it is. Now, the only way for you to survive this is with knowledge. Because now you have to have the knowledge. Now I have to know what you've been through. Now I have to know your experiences. Now I have to know everything that you are, and then make an informed decision based on that. Not to say that everything has to be perfect, but I at least need to be able to have an understanding of what the hell I'm walking into.
If I sought out knowledge prior to marriage, I wouldn't have never gotten married to my wife.
That's the risk, though.
That is the God honest truth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have married her because I would have discovered the level of brokenness from childhood and the abuse. And I wouldn't have, though she told me about it, I didn't understand just how big it was. The more you know, the less likely, I believe more often than not, that you're going to pull the trigger and marry the person, because the reality is we're all broken. But I was very rigid, just like Mr. NOIZ. He was strong in some opinions. I was very rigid in my beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
But after getting married, I have just about, almost, not quite, changed most of those rigid thoughts that I had, because they're not nearly as important as what I have in my marriage. So we go into the marriage, we go to the marriage, the counseling stage, with all these rigid opinions and thoughts, and we think we know, we don't know shit. I'm sorry, we really don't know. We think we know, we're rigid in our opinions, and that has the ability to stop you from getting married to a person that would have been a great spouse to you, simply because you're so rigid in your opinions. So if we are, I know seeking out information, like I said, I know you guys are counseling. I know seeking out information is not a bad thing. I just think that more often than not, it will hinder. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Well, hold on. Let me say this to what you're saying, because in the theoretical nature of what you stated, you're not wrong. It could cost you the relationship. It could. But that is actually the point. let me let everybody in on a secret of me and Mama Noise's counseling. This is just being real. One of my goals when you come to us for counseling for marriage is to talk you out of it. Because I need to know if you really want to do this. Because if you think counseling or you think marriage is you about to be able to link up with somebody who is this perfect human being who has never had any problems, never had any issues, all of the things in their life is lined up perfectly, all the things in his life are lined up perfectly, then you are in for a rude awakening. And I don't want you coming back to me later saying, oh, I didn't know about this. Let's lay our cards on the table. If you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to hide. Let's lay it out on the table. And then if I still want to play the game, I'll play. But if I don't, hey, guess what? You can walk away. It costs you nothing but some time. And that's it. But man, if you get in without the knowledge and then you discover everything, I've seen it too many times, man. That pain is. Whew. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just not saying you're right because I don't know. I think it's individualistic. I think for some people, they're going to hear and they're going to run. But maybe, and they may have missed out, to your point, because they may have missed out on the perfect person for them.
The point of the run is because I'm waiting for the perfect person. I'm waiting for the person that matches up to me better.
But that's not on the person, right? That's not on the person. That's on the individual that's running. They're the fool. Because if you think you're gonna run to the next person and they're gonna be perfect, you're crazy. There's no such thing. There's a flaw. There's something. There's always gonna be something.
But Ms. Tara said that's why she put her BS meter up on the table. She looking for the BS right up front. We women now, and to no fault of their own, because of what they've seen and heard through mom, through aunts, through grandmama, and through their own experiences, they got the BS meter sitting up high, just waiting. And as soon at the first sight of anything,
and you can take it too far,
discounting the man.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say that you can't take that too far. Not saying Tara is, but in general, you can take that way too far. Because if you're looking for perfection, you stop. You're wasting your time. You might as well call that search off. That's not going to happen. What you're looking for is someone. What you should be looking for is someone who has a foundation of faith, who you can build with. You can grow with. You can get together and do the work together. They're willing to do the work and they're willing to figure it out.
But to Jay's point, we discovered many people that have divorced that we knew before they divorced. And then they turn around and get married to somebody that looks exactly like the person they divorced. I'll be like, Lloyd, so-and-so just got remarried. They're like, oh, well, congratulations. And then I'm like, doesn't this look like the wife that we remember that he just divorced? Yes. Or husband. It look just like.
But not even just looks like them physically. They look like them totality. They look exactly like them. They're the same person. You went and left one person and got the same person thinking, well, this person, they'll be far better. No, it's the exact same person. Listen, I truly believe you are, this is my personal belief, but I believe God won't let you out of some classes until you pass them. There's just some stuff God be like, you can move on, but I'm going to bring that same thing back around in another form. And I'm going to keep making you deal with this until you deal with this. So you trying to, because the problem ain't the problem is you. So maybe the reason why your BS meter is so high is because you only can see through BS glasses. Maybe the problem ain't the person, it's you. You got to put down your glasses and stop looking for the problem or looking for that problem. So, I mean, it could be a whole lot of different reasons. You just never know. But I would much rather somebody call it off before than after. I just think that's it's a much easier way to do it. And I kind of believe what Derek believes as well. If you go, why don't you get engaged, counseling before you get engaged? Uncover some stuff as early as possible.
I agree with finding out before, but I believe that gives you a false sense of security because you're still going to go through.
No question.
You still got to learn the person, and that takes time. And I believe that could be detrimental to marriages because I thought we had all this figured out before, and now this is cropping up. I'm gone. I can't deal with it. I don't know.
Well, you already had practice in the dating process. In the dating.
Go ahead, Mom. I'm sorry.
Oh, in the dating process, you could just, soon as you see something you don't like, you out. There's no harm, no foul. But at the same time, a whole lot of this stuff that we keep seeing in the news is somebody killing somebody or taking somebody's life and stuff because you was playing with their emotions and stuff. So, but we get the practice in the dating process. Soon as you don't like it, soon as you do something that, I knew, I found out, and then you out.
Tara brings some interesting stuff to the conversation, man, a lot of times. And that last statement she said was pretty interesting. She says, let me be clear, I'm looking for folk to be honest and open. So if you present yourself as one thing and show yourself to be another, I'm good. If I see BS, I'm out because it's not necessary. Be you because I'm going to be me. Okay. I guess the challenge, I don't know if I have a challenge with this statement. I'm just trying to understand the statement. Because if I show you who I am.
And I don't like it.
Okay. Then you're right. You can go your way, I can go mine.
Right.
We're good with that. Now, what I don't want is I show you I am, you say you're good with it, and then we get married, and then all of a sudden you're trying to change everything that I am.
But I don't like, God damn, marriages, relationships are difficult. I don't like that I show you who I am and you reject me because you don't think that I'm worthy. I don't like that.
But that's a reality, though.
I don't mean a BS artist. I don't mean somebody that's just out to use you. But I mean, I present myself. I'm vulnerable. I'm not perfect, and I present my flaws to you, like Mama Noah says she did with you.
Right.
She actually tried to get you to walk away because she gave it all to you, naked and raw.
Right.
And what if you would have rejected her simply because it was too much for you to handle?
Right.
That's the part that I disagree with.
I don't think we're disagreeing because I think I agree with you. I think if a person is willing to be that vulnerable with you, there's something.
We're saying walk away. We're saying walk away on here.
Well, what I'm saying is, listen, walk away at the beginning. I'm saying walk away prior to marriage. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't want you to walk away. That's not my desire. But if you can't handle it, then yes, walk away prior to marriage. Don't marry me, and then I'm not changing like you thought I would because you say, well, I know you told me all these vulnerable things, and I know you told me all this raw stuff, but I thought I could change you. And then 5 years in, I couldn't, so now I'm going to walk away. That's not fair. To me, that's not fair. And that's what it felt like. And again, on the outside looking in, I don't know the Franklins and Goods from the can of paint. But that's what it feels like they're presenting. They're presenting that this started one way and it left a different way once we got in. And everything that I thought was, think about the statement she made. She said, not everything makes sense to me right now. Well, usually when you break up, the reasons why you broke up are pretty clear. Now, the only reason why it wouldn't be clear is because something got confusing in the translation of what this was. And that's where I'm going, So somebody either wasn't all the way honest about what this was, or they led one another to believe that it was this thing when it ended up being this other thing. So, no. We're never, and to Derek's point, we are never dealing with a finished product. We're never dealing with a finished product. We're always dealing with somebody who's hopefully capable of changing.
But do we come into it wanting the finished product? We don't come in looking for nobody who need improvements. I mean, I'm gonna just tell you, I can't remember which one of y'all said it, but when I laid everything out before you, I took a risk. I took a risk of that guy that I put the picture of, when I met you, when, the picture of what you look like when we first met and everything. This guy, you're amazing. I mean, incredible. I could go down the list of accolades of things that I feel about you. I took a risk to lose something, a man like you, by putting all my eggs in the basket, knowing that you would have had every right to say, you know what, like you and Al, I'm saying, and y'all, y'all got y'all little club, you, Al, and Jay, y'all little church club. Y'all done been to church your whole life and all that stuff. Y'all rub elbows with all the songs and all this stuff and different things that y'all been through, whatever. And I'm saying, you would have had every right to say, you know what, she's not in the club. She don't know everything about church. She ain't been raised the whole life in the church, and you'd have been justified in saying so.
But can I tell you something? I think one of the things that attracted me most to you was your authenticity and the fact that you hadn't been influenced by that institution. Because I knew everything that you said to me was real. It wasn't church lingo or dialect. You didn't know it. So when you gave it to me as real and as honest and hopefully I met you. And let me just say this. I don't know if I've ever even said this out to you. Maybe we should have said this. I still do. But let me just say this as well. You were the first person I ever dated that also allowed me to be real. Because a lot of times when you're in church, you're not allowed to be who you authentically are. So I can't, some of these church girls who met me as the preacher or the deacon or the whatever I was in church, I don't know if I can necessarily tell them that I really love DMX and I'm a hip hop fan and I know the lyrics like the back of my hand and I'm not traveling down the road listening to church music all the time. And I don't know if you can say that to some of these church girls and they still respect you the same way. A lot of them wanted the church guy when they really didn't understand that I am the church. I am the guy in church. I'm not the church guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so you let me be me, and that letting me be me made all the difference. It was the sexiest thing I'd ever seen.
But but as a woman, you like, man, am I willing to be fully transparent at the risk of losing? At the risk of him saying, you know what? She got too many issues. She done been through too much. I ain't trying to have to.
But here's what you didn't know you were doing. What you were really doing was validating the fact that it's okay to have a lot of issues. Because I had my own issues.
But see, church gives you the impression that, and I didn't know. When you told me that one little phrase, that church is a hospital for souls, I never heard that in my life. I always thought church people got their life together. So,
no, this is a bunch of sick people.
So it made me feel like you have to be a certain kind of person in order to measure up to someone like you. You saying, wait a minute, I don't know all the hymns. I didn't know you're supposed to stand during that part. And I know what you said earlier. You said, you appreciated that about me, but you thinking, man, do I I don't want to lose out on this amazing guy. Do I need to put on airs? Do I need to, act like these church ladies and stuff in order for him to deem me worthy? But I said, you know what? I'm taking the risk. Here I am. This is me in full, fully disclosed. This is me fully transparent. I can't get more honest than this. Is this someone?
Well, for me, it was that you call it taking a risk. You keep talking about it like I set you free, and I don't see it that way. I've never seen it that way. I've always seen it like you set me free, because I got to be who I always wanted to be with you. I got to be the man of God, the black man. You have set me free our entire marriage. It's always been you as my mirror to measure what I am and who I am and what I look like. It's always been you. And so, and don't to the more spiritual among you, please don't at me with the what about God? I see the God in my wife. God uses my wife for I can see myself. So I see myself when I'm looking at her, when I'm talking with her, when we're having these dialogues, and it becomes real. You set me free. It was not the other way around. I know you want to make it that, and you like to laud me as this whatever. I have never seen it that way. I've always seen, okay, this woman got me. What kind of preach? You know what I would have been? I would have been a fraud if I'd have kept going down some of these paths. I'd have been a fraud because I'd have ended up probably marrying some girl that was churchy, but not real. Like she didn't know how to be authentic. She didn't know how to be honest. She would have been the chick from Coming to America.
Oh.
Whatever you like, whatever you do, whatever example you want to do on the stage, baby. Well, you know what? You're only spitting on them for Jesus. You're trying to show them Jesus. I'm sure that'll be okay. That ain't no Ron said, I knew that ninja. I'm just saying, I would have been a fraud. And I don't think I got to be that because I married you. I think that's what you saved me. So let's see. Deaconess Smith had been married. Wow, Jesus. Deaconess Smith had been married 6 times. Deacon Jones' wife let him. Mother Green has 7 children. They all have different last names. I see a difference in church folk and Christian. And Lord knows my poor parents had to answer many questions because they knew if they didn't, I'd go up to those folks and ask them about themselves. My curiosity has been a lifelong as well as my way to keep it real. What did Stefan say? Don't nobody want to hear about y'all loving each other. We tune in for these jokes. That's true too, Stefan. That's true.
Wow.
But it's just we just being honest. And so going back to the whole thing with Meagan and Devon. That's why I think Jay and I call BS on the whole thing. Because, bro, don't act like you didn't see Think Like a Man. Don't act like you didn't see you executive produced Jump in the Broom. You've seen all her movies. I'm sure you saw Waist Deep with Tyrese and all the titties out. You've seen all of that. So you knew what you were marrying. So when you asked questions prior to, what did you think you were getting? That's the frustration I have with him. You married her, and then in your mind or your arrogance, which to me is equally selfish, I'm going to change this woman. No, man, you're not going to change her.
That's what he did. He went in thinking that he going to change her, turn her heart to Jesus.
What ultimately will happen is what Jay did for his wife. He loved her into change. What I did for my wife, there are things that I loved her into changing. I just loved her. I didn't mention it, but she said, you know what, damn, I got to change this. This don't need to be in my life. I don't need to do this. I don't need that. She made those decisions. And guess what? I'm glad she did, because if she'd have made them for me, it wouldn't have been the right reasons. But she made it for her, and that's what made it right. So, but see, sorry, I think he was booked. Can I just be okay? I'm calling BS on what he did. Because he did defend her sexiness in the first year. I think it was like the first or second year they're married. They were going to a premiere and she dressed sexy. And people had, the church folk had a problem. Well, you a woman of God and you married to the pastor. You can't dress like that. And he said, oh, that's my wife. That's what he said publicly. But I don't know what he said to her privately.
Yeah, well, was it authentic that he was?
Right. So I if you married her saying, oh, at some point she's going to become what I want her to become, that's on you. That's a hell of a risk to take. It may work, it may not. And do you have the capacity of love in you to love her into a change? Because if you don't, you played yourself, bruh.
Man, the reason why it saddens me is because there was so many other couples that was trying to like Devon and Meagan were relationship goals. Like, man, it is possible to be in Hollywood, excuse me, be famous and have, be, beautiful people, be beautiful Black love and be married and love Jesus. It is possible. I know it seems like, you heard about it. Some people say it exists, but they have never seen it. But there was an example of, oh, it really does happen. It really can happen. And then it's like, after 9 years of it, it's just like, pow, pop the balloon. It's over with.
Go ahead, cuz. I know you got a lot to say.
I don't know if I have a lot to say. I just believe in, as a man, fighting for my wife, not my baby mama.
You wouldn't fight for your baby mama?
My wife. I believe in fighting for my wife.
Okay.
I remember when my wife and I were dating. We were young, guys. We were young. Young and naive, too. Dumb. And after one night of, I think we had engaged that night. I'm not really sure. We engaged so much, I don't remember. But anyway, one night we was laying in bed.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, this is going to go wrong.
We was laying in bed. And out the clear blue, she started crying. I mean, boo-hooing crying. I'm thinking to myself, did I mess up? I mean, what happened?
I know, right? I'm thinking, what is it?
And she says, I got to tell you something about me.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
I said, what's going on? She says, I was abused as a kid. And she laid it all out. Now, we were just dating. She says, I never told anyone this before, but I'm telling you this. Now, I could have been one of those jokers that, because of the emotional drama that she was in at that very moment, I mean, it was really hard. Because men, for sure, men don't like to see you cry. I mean, come on now.
No, we do not.
Really just laying it all out and how much pain she was in because of it. Because at that point, she had never really dealt with it. She pushed it back, in the back of your mind. She had never really confronted it and had never even disclosed it to her family. So she had been dealing with it by herself. Brokenness. So I could have been the guy to say, you know what, this is too much for me. I'm gone. And probably the average joker would have done that, or the average joker would have taken advantage of it. Either or. But when do we step up to be men in the lives of the women we say we love? If she ever needed a man, I realized right then and there, now, I'm not Captain Saberhole. That's not who I am. I know y'all might think that, but at that moment, she needed a man in her life. And I could have easily walked away and would have left her with that brokenness and probably even made it worse because she would have never disclosed it again.
Oh, yeah. No, not at all. Not at all.
So the role that we play in the lives of people, the power that we have to help people through is more important than what we think superficially. We checking off a list of what we must have.
I will submit to your point, because Kenyatta taught me one of the greatest lessons that I think I ever learned as it comes to relationships. And that is very simply, I don't know what the hell I'm looking for. I don't. If I go by the list that somebody in church told me to put together, she didn't fit none of that. She didn't teach in the church. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. She didn't wear the hat. She didn't do none of that. She didn't sing. She didn't do none of that. And when I saw her and I heard the things that she was telling me, and she's just like your wife did, the trauma that she laid out in front of me, all I heard was, my God, this is a woman that needs me to be a man. And I want to be a man for her. And I looked at her and she saw her trauma. All I saw was her beauty. All I saw was the beauty. All I saw was what it could be. I said, man, if she could just have somebody in her life to love her for real, like for real. And she's worth loving. Like there's nothing wrong with her. She's perfect. She's just been through some shit. She just needs somebody to love her. And I said, I want to do that. I want to do that. But then I was like, no, I can't do that because that's creepy. You just led her to Christ, then you're going to be a man? What kind of creepy ass pastor are you? You can't do that. So I said, well, let's just be friends. And maybe I'll lead her to the person that will be exactly what she needs. And then the Lord saw fit to say, no, fool, this is for you. I was like, oh, well, thank you, because I was so feeling the way about it. So I agree with you 100%. Man, there are not enough men who want to go on the adventure and see the dragon and see the beautiful damsel in distress and want to slay the dragon just to get her out the tower. There's not enough who aren't afraid. And that's not to say that women are weak or they're weak. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a man stepping up to meet a woman where she is, not where you want her to be. Not some false ideology of where you think she should be. That's real. That's just not real, man. And I don't know, man. I feel you on what you said, bro. Because and I had a perfect joke there that would have been just with a slave, but I said, nah, it's probably not appropriate right now. But it was funny as hell.
You could have threw it in there, you know me.
Well, it wasn't gonna hurt you. It was just funny. I just, but I felt like I better not do it. Because we're in a very serious place. But the reality is, I know you're right, and I think the trap is we've allowed society and music and culture to fool us into thinking that there's this thing out there as men that we have to obtain to validate us. But I got news for you: Jay-Z married a flawed woman.
Yep.
It's just not how it works. And it's not even always just about the depth of trauma. It's just we all got something, man. We all got something. And it's a matter, are you man enough to stay in it? And if this is the woman or the assignment that God places you on, then are you man enough to see it to the end? That's the question. I mentioned earlier, and then I'm gonna go back to Mama Noise because she ain't said nothing in a while. I mentioned earlier, I hear him saying, I need a child, and I need you to be first lady, and I had this expectation, I had that expectation. I don't hear her saying what her expectations of him were, nor do I hear him saying I was going to do this. I don't hear that. I don't hear none of that coming out the narratives, which leads me to believe then maybe you are as selfish as you think she is. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. In the journey, and Jay, I know you know this, in the journey of helping my wife get to the place where she could be healed, I took a lot of hits.
Oh, yeah, dog.
I took a lot of hits. And if I'm wrong, Mama Noy, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Call me out on it. Call BS on it. But I took a lot of hits, man. A lot of hits. And there were many times I was like, why am I doing this? This is a lot. This is a lot. But something in me said, no, this is bigger than you. This is bigger than her. This is greater. And it was, I'm telling you, man, it was like a 6-7 year run where I was just like, oh, Lord, Jesus. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? But man, I wouldn't trade this last 15, almost 16 years. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. That is my everything. And everything that we went through was worth it. That's why you can't even come to me with no cheating conversations. Because I was like, the fuck? I mean, I'm sorry. Jay, look what you did to me. I'm saying to go through, because I'm not going to start over.
I mean, listen.
I'm not going to start over. Baby, I think I can give you everything your wife can't give you. No, you can't. If you think what's between your legs is everything my wife can't give me, ma'am, you are sadly mistaken. Okay, I'm sorry. I done got on my high horse. Mama Noy, you take this program back from us. These men are just out of control right now.
Are they out of control?
I don't know.
Are they just telling the facts?
Yeah.
It's
marriage
is sacrifice. Marriage takes work. Anybody who thinks that it's as simple as renting a venue, getting flowers, buying the most expensive dress, figuring out your honeymoon is so much more expensive than that.
I'm sorry, I'm not to cut you off, but I gotta share what Tara said because she's spot on. Ooh, I didn't see that, Tara. I apologize. Because she said women who share their trauma are not often valued Black women. We are taught to not share because it's not acceptable. And if we do share, we are considered mouthy, too independent, or worse. Let me tell you something, ma'am. You are correct. That is the reason why that jackass Kevin Samuels is where he is now. Because he's got niggas thinking, and I'm going hardcore because to make my point, that is true. And the reality is that's not true. That's not true. I don't know what made people think that they had to have perfection. How did we get fooled into that? Ooh, you preaching, Tara. You preaching. I'm about, where girl? What am I ain't got no change, but I need a cash app or something. Do I have $1? What do I need here? Here, just take my little gift card. I got a gift card.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
You preaching. That is true.
It is true. We're, you try to be, I mean, Black women have, I'm not saying we don't have it harder than, the hardest, but it is hard to be a Black woman because you already labeled as too strong-willed, you angry Black woman as soon as you voice your opinion.
Can't cook fritters, all that.
We catch you.
Need to learn how to cook.
Leave them Black women alone. They got enough problems.
The same.
I don't disagree with anything you said. And I like what she said at the end. It's a perfection that they themselves can't even offer. How your ass gonna ask for perfection and you working a ragged ass 9 to 5? And you barely paying your own bill, but you want her to be perfect.
Listen.
You know something else that I went through, and I know a lot of people go through it. So I don't mind sharing. I'm totally naked. Don't ever say Jay don't
I want to be very, very clear. I do not
don't want
you to
that.
be totally naked on this show.
I don't want that.
I share it all. I show it all.
Nope.
Sharing is fine.
No.
Keep
Verbally
your clothes
share.
on. Keep your clothes.
Because that which happens to me is actually designed to bless other people.
Come on, preacher.
As long as
I
it's
can't
verbal.
bless
That's all I'm
somebody
saying.
if I don't tell it.
Tell it.
As long as it's verbal. That's all we said. Just go ahead and say it.
Complete nudity.
Nope.
So a part of the trauma of going through what my wife went through, and I'm talking about in women in general, though, even though I'm talking about her specifically. Part of going through what she went through, she had a lot of bitterness.
Mm.
Now, you talking about an angry Black woman. She was angry because no one defended her and protected her.
Ooh.
No one stopped it from happening.
Come on, Jay.
She felt as if she was prostituted out. Angry, bitter. And here I am with my whole healthy family ass walking into that situation, not fully understanding what those tears meant in that bedroom that night.
Come on.
And only through the marriage was I able to fully understand just how angry she was. And I had to deal with it firsthand. But I'm not the only one that has to deal with an angry Black woman, because too many of our girls have been hurt, haven't been shown love, don't even know how. Somebody said in the chat earlier, if a woman wants to be caught, she'll stop. She don't even know she's running. She doesn't know how to be caught.
Did somebody say that?
That was Stefan.
Somebody said,
yeah. Okay.
She doesn't know. Now I have to come in here and try to tell her who I am in order to get her to see she can stop. But it took years to break down her anger. Wow. Are you willing to deal with those hardcore issues that most of our women deal with? Not all. I'm not saying everybody's. Most of our girls are broken.
Mm-hmm.
And they are resentful.
Some of it is not even stuff that you have to do. Some of it is just you being strong enough while she does her own work.
I agree. She has to do work.
She has to do, you know what I'm saying? And there's a quiet strength even in that we have to possess. Sometimes you gotta let her work out this anger. You gotta let her work out this frustration, this past, this trauma. You gotta let her work it out and still see her value the same way.
Correct.
Don't devalue that woman because she's working through some shit. That's the problem.
That's what we do.
But that's what we do. That's what we do. I'm going to devalue you because I remember when your mama did this to you. Remember when you got this done to you. That. No, that's not what she needs. She don't need somebody that's going to devalue. She needs somebody that sees it, the flaw, and is willing to help clean up.
She doesn't need somebody who's going to take the very things that she entrusted you with and turn around and use those things against her
as a weapon. Yes.
She doesn't need for you to turn around and say to her through divorce, your ass filing for divorce, saying that you're not worth it anymore, that there's too much brokenness. He sent that woman a message, whether he believes it or not.
You know what
makes it not good enough.
You know what makes it even worse, cuz? He probably sent her a message right before the breakthrough.
Wow.
Because see, that's the other part of this equation that we don't often talk about. Men are impatient sometimes. And we want the breakthrough as fast as we want it. Well, just get past it. Just let it go. Just move on.
So my point with counseling, I'm very respectful of you guys. I promise I am. I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing. But my point in counseling is we've uncovered that there are issues, but I'm going to have to deal with those issues.
Right. And we tell you that. We set a realistic expectation for you in the session. We don't tell you now that we've uncovered it, y'all going to walk into happy bliss, hand in hand, running through a field of lilies. That's not how this works. Now that you know what you're signing up for, are you willing to sign? Because here's where the rubber meets the road. Because you want to get real, let's get real. Now that you know what I've been through, and you know how much I need you, will you still love me?
The way you did before you did.
Not even the way you did. No. It's even deeper than that, Mama Noise, because I need more than the way you did before me. Now you know what I've been through. Now you know how my trauma. Now can you still love me to the next level? Because what it's going to take to get to this next level that you want us to get to, I got to get through this. This is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm bringing to the marriage.
But
Are
sometimes
you going to help me get through it?
But sometimes you feel like, do you love me less because of the transparency?
No. I know what you're saying, and I agree with you. I'm saying we are the reason why we like to expose it is because we're saying if you love me less and you can't see yourself staying, then bruh, don't stay. You're not the dude for the assignment. Now, to Cuz's point, you don't know it, ignorant ass dude, but you're costing yourself something tremendous. Because there is a tremendous value in the dude that stayed.
Yes, Lord, it is. Yep.
That dude is, listen, the marriages that I celebrate and champion, all of those dudes have one thing in common. They all stayed. They all stayed. And they stayed through it all. Now, I'm not saying there ain't ever reasons to leave. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
Some of us get fooled. Some of us get some, and some folks just can't make it work, and you got to get out of there. So that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the people that have issues that can be worked through, the ones that work through it, my God, it's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch. It's powerful. And they are powerful. That's why I get so frustrated when I see young couples who ain't overcome nothing trying to teach the rest of us how to do it. If you ain't ever overcome nothing, you can't talk to us about this. You don't know what you're talking about. Anybody can say marriage is easy to work through when everything is going well. But when you've been out, when you got to pull your marriage out the mud, and the mud is hard, it ain't even mud no more, it's just hard dirt. You got to crack the dirt to get to the mud. My grandmother was married 50 years. 50. 50. Anything she want to tell me about marriage, she can tell me. Because she stayed married 50 years. Whew. Matter of fact, I got a secret thing that I do. I'm going to share it with y'all. Every time back when the world was wide open, me and Mama Noise would go out to eat. And from time to time, we'd run into couples. Mama Noise will tell you this is true. We run into couples. And if I felt something special off that couple, like I don't say energy, but like you know how you just feel something, like this is a couple that's in love. I would say, hey, how long y'all been married? And then some of them would say 30 years. Some would say 40 years. Some would say 25, some 15, or whatever it is. But anybody 25 and up, or 30 and up, I guess it would be now, I would always ask the question, what's your secret?
Yeah.
Not what's the secret, what's your secret? I want to, and don't give me, oh, we just had God. I know you got God, but as has been proven many times before, Devon Franklin would tell you he had God, and theirs didn't work.
Right.
So what did you do? What are you doing right now? And the answers are amazing. I would challenge you all to ask couples that you respect. Just ask them, how y'all doing this? You'll be stunned at some of the answers. And it's beautiful but the common thread that I'll say is that they found a way to push through. Everybody. They found a way to push through, which is part of it. So go ahead, Mama. I'm sorry.
No. It's true.
And see, this last statement by Carr hurts my heart. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I know you mean well, and I know you're probably right, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Women depend on their sister friends because they will always cover us, where men sometimes will. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that we have a reputation with some women that we're not trustworthy, that we can't help, that we don't have the ability to stick with it. I don't like that. Derek, you don't like it either, do you? He said what? I'm with Derek. I don't like that. There are some men that'll go the distance. And we out here. We are out here.
Yeah.
Just being overshadowed by the bastards that won't.
Mm.
I'm sorry. Cosby having me.
No, it's true. You know, it's almost been like there's more that will uncover us than cover us. It's ironic because I was watching this, one of my favorite movies from the past called Rage in Harlem. And even though, Robin Givens' character, we know the story, the movie, but she was like, one of the things she said is most men would uncover me instead of cover me. Because Jackson was like, I'll put a blanket on you so in case you got cold. And she's like,
but you know why that's a powerful movie, Mama Noise? He saw the good in that woman where there really hadn't been any good. But that's all he ever saw in her. Mm-hmm. And even when he found out that she was somewhat bad, he still saw her good. He was like,
he was taking her to church with him.
Like, man, that's not who she is. He kept telling his brother, that's not who she is. I know.
Yeah.
Derek said, as soon as you get a good one, them same girlfriends start plotting, trifling. Uh-oh.
Oh, my goodness.
Derek done brought up a whole nother show.
But I will co-sign that. That is true, though.
Oh, that's true? You think
that is true? I had that happen to me in college. I didn't know. I thought that we was sisters. I thought we was just sharing. I ain't know folks was trying to keep the receipts so they could say, let me see if it's the same for me. I had no idea.
Mm. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs too, Stephon. Although I can't, we had a Prince conversation the other day. I had it with a friend. You gotta be careful with Prince. Prince will definitely have he got away with people, man. He make you take your drawers off. I don't know what that's about, but
what?
Prince, Prince will have you drawers off. Prince drove many a person to take their drawers off, unbeknownst to them. They didn't even know why he's taking them off. It's like, I don't know why.
Listen, please, sir.
This is a really intense conversation. We probably not gonna get back to the other part of the stuff that I wanted to talk about on What the Hell Wednesday, which was I saw the interviews with Antonio Brown.
Oh my gosh.
I got thoughts, but not what y'all think though. It ain't what y'all think. We may have to say that to tomorrow.
Yep.
Mental health is interesting. I'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Or our perception of mental health is interesting.
Yep. I'm hoping to get Dr. Thomas back on here so she can talk to us about it. Because that's Soror Danielle Thomas is Dr. NOIZ when it comes to mental health. And so
yeah, she's good. Good stuff. I want to get Dr. Smith on here, who's the trauma expert.
I know, right? You gotta catch her like
she's so busy these days.
She be busy.
She's amazing though. Y'all need to listen to her podcast. I'm telling you, y'all are missing out by not listening to her podcast, Teaching Through the Eyes of Trauma. It is so good, and it's not long. It's not a long podcast. You're not gonna have to commit to hours and hours and hours. It's like 30 minutes. The latest one is called Trigger Happy.
Oh,
yeah. She just know her stuff, man. You know, I know her all her life, and I've always known she was smart and intelligent, but I didn't know she was brilliant. She's brilliant. She's brilliant.
Okay.
I always knew she was smart and intelligent. I just didn't know she was brilliant. Brilliant is something else. She's brilliant. So anyway, check that podcast out. It's gonna be really, really.
I think a lot of these listeners, these noise makers are very smart and intelligent.
I agree.
Okay, I don't need to know that information.
You got one or two brilliant ones in there, except for Mr. Derek there that just decided.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened there. I can't really co-sign that one, Derek.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, she's beautiful. I will say that she's beautiful. I'm not ruling
sexy boy. He could have kept himself.
I mean, I just
Derek, you rep your woman if you want to. I tell you sexy all the time, every day on this show, Mama Noise.
It's some extremely smart, intelligent people in the podcast.
Very much so.
And I enjoy listening and hearing from.
Very much so. Very much.
Even if they disagree with me at times when they're dead wrong, that's okay.
What is happening?
They're dead wrong.
They will eventually realize I was right the whole time.
They will eventually realize.
Why do I feel like that's a conversation that you and Opal have had quite a bit? You will eventually realize, Opal.
All right.
The whole time. All right, boy, you better claim it. Name it and claim it.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Let's talk about a lighter story to end the show today. Can we do that? We've been so heavy the last couple of days. I want to talk about a lighter story. I saw one earlier and it was really funny. Oh, there it is. This is normally a sports story, but I wanted to share it on this show because I think it's funny. Urban Meyer, the coach that got fired from the Jaguars, he said, listen, coaching the Jags was depressing. And that's why he got that lap dance in Nebraska.
Wow.
He was trying to work through his trauma.
That sounds like something my daughter would say to me. Excuses. It's excuses.
Hold on, cuz I'm not going to let you disrespect this man like this. He felt as though the rubbing of vagina on his pelvic area would help him through his depression.
Dang.
Who among us has not tried to rub something on us?
Nope.
To try to work through trauma.
Yeah, I'm gonna say nope.
You know I'm telling the truth. You know black folk will try to drink it away, sex it away, drug it away.
I didn't like sex. I didn't like sex because of trauma.
I'm not saying it was you. I'm saying others have though.
They're looking for love. They're looking for love.
I'm like Chad. My only problem with him is not the lap dance. It's in Nebraska. I mean, come on. Nebraska? Word? Brother, you could have worked. First of all, you was in Florida. Could have worked that out in Florida.
Where you want him to go? Where you want
Atlanta?
him to
Go to Atlanta.
Go to Atlanta, then you don't know if it's a man or a woman that's rubbing up on you.
I can't do it.
I think they scream well in Magic City. Hello.
Oh.
Tara, you said, why didn't he run away to his wife? Well, because maybe she was part of the trauma, the depression.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Listen, I'm making light of it because I just think the excuse is ridiculous. You're 1,000% correct. He should have ran home to his wife, but the fact that he would even float the excuse out there is hilarious.
Right.
He was trying to get some lemon pepper wings.
Sometimes, listen, I've heard the wings are good. I don't know personally, but I have heard that the wings are amazing.
I think it's because the taste buds are connected to the eyes, or something is the reason why they in there getting all this visual, and then all of a sudden the wings is just so spectacular. Is because of what they're watching more so than
that makes absolutely no sense. Okay.
Exactly. I'm trying to say. So you think because you're seeing a whole bunch of naked tail that the wings in there is better?
It's gonna change your taste buds, mama.
They come out of there talking about them the best lemon pepper wings I've had in my life, bruh. Has anybody had?
Now maybe you can blame it on the alcohol, but you can't blame it on the ass.
How come you can blame it on the alcohol and not on the? Okay.
Because ass has nothing to do with your taste buds unless you're putting the ass in your mouth.
Okay,
I don't want it. I don't want it.
I decline, Alex. I decline, Alex.
I mean, plenty of us have seen a really pretty cake or a really good-looking entree, and we say, "Man, looks like it's gonna be good." And we bite into it, ain't a lick of salt, ain't no seasoning nowhere. They didn't put not one herb in it. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So looks don't change your taste buds, Mama Noise. Come on now.
I'm trying to figure it out because see, I don't go to those places, so I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I do.
You guys, is it because of what you see? You're looking at a bunch of naked tail. Does it affect your taste buds?
Would the fritters have tasted better had ocean and butter ass nipples? Is the question that we're all asking.
Well, that's another part of the question.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If Mama Noise cooks a mean Sunday breakfast, but if she cooked the butter ass naked,
I'm sorry, you might need to.
Dare I say we won't have breakfast? At least not the kind the kids like.
Oh man.
I don't know what about want no grease popping on their genitalia. What are you talking about? Bacon is fattening, sausage is fattening.
Honeymoon, we was cooking still.
Eggs be popping.
Who said we were gonna be cooking breakfast at that time? Once Mama Noise walks through butt naked, we ain't gonna do some other things before we eat breakfast.
Breakfast can wait.
Yeah, come on, Prince. Come on, Prince, sing it.
Oh my gosh.
You preached that thing, Mama Noise. Just now when you preached it, when you did it, that was good.
You gotta see the chat. Chad said the glitter in the air gets on the wings.
I don't want glitter on my wings. I don't want it.
Oh my gosh.
And I really don't want ass near my wings either, to be honest with you.
I mean, but y'all just be.
I disagree, homeboy. I mean,
it's all about the lemon pepper.
Listen.
Near my wings.
I can't play. We'll get flagged immediately.
Everything that smells perfumey ain't necessarily clean.
Oh my gosh, I can't do it.
Listen, Mama Noise, you can cook that however you want, and you're delicious. So that's all I'm trying to say to the people.
Okay.
Speaking of crazy things, see our transition. That was a weak transition. I can do better. But Tiffany Haddish, she got arrested earlier at the end of last year.
Yeah.
That DUI on the heels of her breakup with Common. She has some thoughts about what happened.
I appreciate you having me, Kimmy. Thank you for, allowing me to be here.
Can you talk about anything that happened or want to talk about it or no?
Well, I can say this, Jimmy.
Okay.
I've been praying to God to send me a new man, a good man. And God went ahead and sent me 4 in a uniform. I wasn't expecting it. I was not expecting that at all. And now I got a really great lawyer, and we're gonna work it out. Yeah. I got to get my my asking of things to God a little better.
Yeah. I hope she doesn't have to do like, oh, it's not that serious, because she was pulled over. It wasn't like she was actually driving. She was pulled over. She just got, a little toasty, but she had the good sense to pull over. And people make mistakes, cuz.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
If anybody going to court, it should be Common. This is all his fault. Who's more damaging to women, Common or Devon Franklin or Nick Cannon? I'm just asking questions. Y'all put in the chat who y'all think is more damaging to women. Nick Franklin, Nick Cannon, Devon Franklin, or Common? Common got the girl out here sleeping in a car, drunk. Nick got that's what I said, Tar. Common is has serial toxicity. Like he be picking them out one by one like he in the African bush with a blowtorch. Like, there is one over in the corner next to the tree. I see her.
I wonder what do men, those that in the chat, you, Mr. Noise, what do you really think is your value? After all is said and done, you've lived your life and now you've gone on. What was my value? What did I leave Earth that it wouldn't have had if it wasn't for me? My value. I don't understand how you can consider yourself having value when you can't commit to one woman. I don't understand that. Because what you end up doing is you end up leaving brokenness, a chain of brokenness. Just keep breaking women. Even if you were to have, as in Nick's case, all those kids, that's still not your value because you were not with their mom. You didn't do right by their mom. So
well, he was with their mom. That's not he was with their mom.
He stuck the mom, but he moved.
That's well, yeah, he stuck him and moved, but he was with them.
Right. So
he's like, I love you.
What do we think is value? I don't get it.
It's a good question. It's a fair question.
What would you want as a man to be on your headstone? Don't give me some old fake ass. Well, I almost said it. Don't give me some scripture. Don't rest in an eternal peace and resting in the arms of Jesus. Don't give me all that. What would you want on your headstone as a man that will be there forever? What would you want said about you? And that to me is how you should live your life. What you want said on your headstone, here lies a fucker. He just kept fucking him. I know I said too much, Mama Noise. I apologize.
Well, I apologize for that.
Clive Johnson. I'm sorry, Clive Jones. I apologize. Clive Jones, age 66, has been donating his sperm from his van for nearly 10 years. And he now has 129 babies that have been born because of his sperm donorship. He's donating to clinics. So on his tombstone, it's going to be.
He should have 125 broken souls.
But no, he's donating to clinics, fertilization clinics.
He had 129, right?
129 have been. He's
125
got a gift. He's got a gift, and the gift is I can get you pregnant. You can have a baby by me.
125 to 129 broke.
129.
125 of them broke.
Why you say? Why you think there's 4 stable and the rest of
4 of them might make it out? They might make it out okay.
I agree with Tyra. Did you say from his van?
I did say from his van.
How is he sustaining?
I mean, maybe he has sperm will travel. I don't know.
What do you mean? How is he sustaining? Sustaining what?
I'm reading.
Does he get a refrigerator or something in his van?
Maybe.
Well, how is he preserving? How is he keeping it?
Yes.
I'm reading the article as it is.
You park in front of the clinic and handle your business.
Ew.
Walk inside and give it up.
To be bringing it from outside, that don't sound clinical at all.
He gets it.
They gave him 2.
Listen, it's like a food truck.
Nope.
you pull up, you say, "Let me get the number 3," and he knocks one out for you, and then brings it to the window, and you take it. And apparently, it's worked 129 times.
Mama knows sperm production ain't hard.
No.
Clearly, y'all do it every day.
Right.
Don't take long at all.
He's trying to get to 150. He's at 1. He's got 9 on the way, which is going to put him at 138. I think he said he's going to stop at 150. Because that's too many. That's the line. 150 is the line.
There was a line a long time ago.
It started in May over 9 years ago, and he's been going strong ever since.
He's been jacking off ever since.
Ever since. He provided a service to the community.
Don't be trying to add the community on there.
Now, just to be fair to the story, this is in England, by the way. This is all in England. The Human Fertilization and Embryological Authority has issued him a warning. They said their rules state that all donors and patients should be treated at a licensed UK clinic. This is not so his van is not licensed to do what he's doing. He's unlicensed to do this, but he's effective. The problem is he's effective. These clinics, they do this rigorous testing, and it's hard, and you can't. It takes too long. Whereas you can just pull up at the van and get what you need, and it's done in 15 minutes, maybe even 4 minutes.
Wow.
He says, I drive somewhere where I'm not likely to be disturbed, and I go into the back of the van, and I pull down the curtains, and then I take the cup and the syringe so the stuff can't come out. And then I put it in a bag under my arm, and then I text the person, and I say, I'm outside, and I'll be there in 3 minutes, and then they come pick up the contents of my contribution.
Unbelievable.
So, to your point earlier, on his tombstone, here lies.
Yeah, I get it. I get
Chris
it.
Jones.
Yeah.
I made my contribution to the world.
Ridiculousness.
I'm just telling you what happened.
That's disgusting.
Disgusting.
Not to the people that got their kids. They didn't have no kids. They couldn't have no kids, and he provided them a kid. And they're happy. 138 happy homes.
Man, I watched a crime show about this, and the guy he had hundreds of kids and stuff. But what he didn't know is that he had some type of inherited ailment or something. And the clinic was supposed to find all this out ahead of time, but they didn't. And then all these kids had this inherited ailment that they wouldn't have had And he just stopped trying to be as Chad so put it, a public servant, and just kept his public servant at home or in his pants.
He's trying to help those women who were lost and bewildered.
Nope.
Couldn't have it. Now, there is a slight problem. They're going to probably be bald.
Look at this trick.
He in a dirty van.
Yeah, there go your public servant.
Nobody said the van had to be clean. It's just a van.
What the what?
He's just riding around in a van.
Oh, I can't.
Was that cum stains on the?
I can't do it.
I don't know. Let me pull it up again. Possibly on the left side over. You mean? You gotta open the door. You can't, when you're getting out the van, you gotta open the door. I don't see no sink in the back of the van.
I can't do it.
Listen, Mama Noise, this is WTH Wednesday. I can't think of a more WTH moment than that.
That is.
I need somebody to clear something up for me too. When did we start calling it STI and not STD?
I don't know. I'm noticing the change as well.
I didn't realize we had changed the name. Our memo didn't go out or something. Well, I missed it.
It's an infection, right?
I thought it was a disease. It's not a disease. What's the difference between an infection and a disease? Infection can be cured, disease can't.
Somebody infected you with it. Somebody.
I don't know. That's a great question.
Somebody gave it to you. Somebody didn't give you a disease.
We do have breaking news. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer is stepping down. Wow.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's retiring. So
just in time for Biden to make a
to make a nomination.
Right.
The rumors are that he's going to name an African American woman.
Okay.
Yeah. Potential candidates are Ketanji Brown Jackson.
I mean, he must have found a literal African.
Ketanji Brown Jackson or Leandra Kruger.
Why would you say that, Mama Noise?
Ketanji?
Yeah, that was racist. I'm gonna have to.
That does not sound like.
God damn, that was racist. That was racist.
It sounded like it might be something like Nigerian. It didn't sound like it was African American. And I'm probably right.
Or you're not right.
Well, go ahead and look up Ketanji then.
Does Kenyatta sound black to you? Does Kenyatta sound black?
It absolutely sounds African.
Sounds African. Okay.
You know them Africans be
Thank you, Tara. I'm just saying they be trying to shade me.
You know them Africans be coming up to you. Oh my goodness, you are from my motherland.
They do. They be like, you speak Swahili? I said, yeah, that's enough.
They said, no.
Now wait a minute. You get the button because you don't know none of that you singing.
God damn, that was racist. That was racist.
Talk about Leo.
I was just quoting her. Let's see, who is Ketanji? This is Ketanji, Justice Ketanji right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's her.
Uh-huh.
That's a real black woman too.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
What you mean, real black woman?
I mean, she's fully black. I don't think she's like mixed or anything.
Oh, okay.
I don't mean like other black women are not black women because they're not mixed.
Right.
I'm just saying, no, I don't mean like that. She's a black woman. Now another one is Leandra Kruger. Leandra Kruger is another. These are the leaders in the clubhouse. Is what they. If I can say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
These are the leaders in the clubhouse. Leandra Kruger is the other one. Here's the other one.
Mhm. Okay.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I like the first one.
I do too.
You don't even know her.
Just off looks.
I don't think they're gonna name.
You
the
know,
next,
that second one looks like Kamala.
I don't think they're gonna name the next Supreme Court justice off of her looks.
I want a full
Lies.
black. I want a full black so somebody could be there to count.
She need to be as dark as what's old boy from the Supreme Court?
Clarence Thomas.
The one who got in trouble with Anita Hill.
I said Clarence Thomas.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, shit. Clarence Thomas.
Nope.
Right there. What is happening right there? I like both. I think they'll be fine. No problem.
Oh.
She's
got some nice cosigns, Ketanji. She's appointed by Joe Biden. As an incumbent, assumed office, appointed by Joe Biden, and then in office by Barack Obama, and vice chair of the United States Sentencing Commission by Barack Obama. And yeah, she got
there's one more out of South Carolina, Michelle Childs. Michelle kind of splits the difference. Like if Ketanji is dark and DeAndre is a red bone, then Michelle's kind of in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, she's in the middle.
It would be nice to have a black woman on there.
A black.
But see, you keep saying black woman like you mean something different too.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Whatever you mean.
Well,
you keep saying that all three of them are black.
No, that's what I'm saying. It'd be nice to have a black woman on there. Somebody needs to counter Clarence Thomas.
Okay, so you're okay with any of those black women?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, I feel like to me, the second candidate looked like Kamala Harris. I'm just saying.
Redbone, Tara, Redbone. You know Redbone. Don't act like you don't know Redbone.
She does not look like she's Indian. She doesn't look mixed with Indian.
She looked like she might have some Asian.
White.
God damn, that was racist. That was racist.
That's what Kamala Harris said. She wants y'all to recognize her Asian part. So then every time she says something, she's a African-American part Asian woman.
I'm going to tell you right now, Michelle's the leader in the clubhouse for me.
This chick?
Yeah.
Attorney?
She that's a judge. That's
Judge
Michelle.
You said it right the first time. Chick.
No, that's Michelle. Judge Michelle. I put some respect on her name.
Judge Michelle.
Let me tell you why she's the leader in the clubhouse for this picture right here.
Did she like the crab legs?
No, it's just the realness. It's the realness. She said, I am eating these crab legs with my hands. I don't care. They're delicious. She ain't also diddy.
She might have them little cracker-like things on the side, though.
I don't care. She a real one. She said, I'm going to eat this with my hands. She ate that down to the bone.
Okay, if she's not that down.
Any woman eating food down to the bone, she's the real thing. She's thorough. That means she's thorough as a human being. She leaves she doesn't leave anything to chance. She investigates to the fullest, and she's going to be fair and unbiased.
Mm-hmm.
I can get with that. I co-sign for Michelle.
Okay.
We need another black one because we damn sure don't have one up there now.
Yeah, I don't know what that dude is. You right, Ninja.
That man votes against everything that's supportive of black issues and black causes. And
Yeah.
Black law, everything. He votes against it all.
Yeah, he does. Should be an interesting process, to say the least. But that's the breaking news of today. Tonight, man, we got a intense show for you tonight on the 5. So much to break down tonight. Man, it is changes everywhere. Man, so much to unpack. So we will unpack it all tonight. There is developing story that's going on in Louisville right now. If it breaks before the end of the day, we will have that for the 5. But I know for sure we'll have it in the morning on Believe in the ACC, because it appears that Chris Mack, the head coach of the University of Louisville men's basketball team, is going to be fired, let go, resigned. They're negotiating a buyout. I don't know what they're gonna call it, but he ain't gonna be there no more. So we'll talk about what went wrong and what happens going forward later on. But a lot of other stuff to discuss with that. Yeah, what was you gonna say?
Also looks like the Cowboys are about to get a new coach.
Well, we definitely gonna talk about that tonight, because that is in the air. That I think they're going to get one as well. I just don't know when they're going to get it. Because is it going to happen this year? Are they going to run it back one more year? Is what does that? I mean, what are they thinking over there? Because if they're trying to run it back one more year, that makes no sense.
Nah,
it makes no sense.
You might mess around and lose it.
Well, and you look at the damage you're doing to the one that's there now and the team. Right. Like, you're just gonna throw away a year. Right. You're gonna throw away a year that doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. Interesting stuff going on in the world of sports. We'll break it all down tonight. Mama knows you got anything that I need to say?
Please subscribe and like the YouTube channel.
YouTube channel?
Oh, yes.
What's it called?
Specifically to this show, you just look up Talkin NOIZ Daily Podcast.
Shut the front door.
You look up Talkin NOIZ Daily Podcast and subscribe and like so that you can be notified when we are live on YouTube. Because there are some people that are at work and they're saying, man, I can listen to the show at least on Twitter while I'm working, or that are like, man, I can pull up YouTube. Fantastic. We are now live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.
That's a lot of places.
We trying.
It's a lot of places. Smiling faces. Mom, what we're gonna eat tonight? We're gonna close because now Jay got me wanting something fried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I want fritters, but
catfish.
You don't know how to make the fritters.
How hard is it to make fritters? It's batter and some onion.
Jamaican fritters, those Jamaican, man.
Oh,
first of all, your Jamaican accent is trash, and then second of all, I'm sure I can figure it out. It's in my DNA.
You about as Jamaican as I am.
Oh,
no, you've been in more Jamaicans than I have, but I am.
Oh,
I ain't been in one Jamaican.
You've been in more. You've been in that Jamaican more than I have. I've never been in a Jamaican.
I can't do it.
I've been in 2 Jamaicans.
Well, I am Jamaican. I don't put nothing in me. I put my.
Oh my gosh! Stop it,
y'all. Me and Mama NOIZ gonna work out our dinner plans. Y'all work out how y'all gonna get back in here tomorrow and see Talkin NOIZ. Peace.